Hi there, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you tonight? It is 7 o'clock. Are you ready? Are you ready to create? So, I have for you tonight a few things. I have a whole bunch of class stuff to show you. And what else? We're obviously going to create, right? So let's get started because there's a lot going on. And whoever just joined me, say hello. I'm going to flip you around and put you in. 1 second here. Magic. All right. So let's get situated. So for tonight, we're doing the second part of the Curvy Celebrations. I love that we're celebrating curves. So, let's see here. Let's get to going, shall we? So let me turn that off and get everything else moving. Hey Linda, how are you? Hey Iris. It says that I have 3 on, but there's Halls. Hey Holly, how are you? Your stuff is shipped and I will be sending out your paper for your bonus momentarily. All right, so for tonight, not only are we making this card from start to finish, but I'm also going to show you, because it didn't always translate well in the photos, right? So I'm also going to show you what's going on for card class, what is going on for Countdown Christmas class, what is going on for Stamp of the Month. Hey Serene, how are you? My son says, hey girl, hey. Well, hey boy, hey, back at ya. So, never normal, is it? So, for card class, we are doing 3 cards with a bonus. And this little guy is a pseudo shaker with the mason jar dome. And we've got some glitzy stuff. And then we flip this guy up, and here's your card part. And then up here we have a gift card. So, that's one. If you're not able to make it on Tuesday at 10 to 1, Tuesday from 6 to 9, Thursday in Yucca from 10 to 1, or Saturday 9 to 12, or 3 to 6 and 29, you can always come on a Monday, or you could get the kit to go, but any of the stamping is not done for you. Any of the punching is, and you will get full instructions. So this is a pinwheel card. We're gonna learn how to do pleating for ribbon and the pinwheel, okay? So I don't know if you've ever done that before, but it didn't photograph well, of course. So, and then last but not least, we are going to do a forest scene, and this uses the white ink, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So that is card class, and that is next week on the 10th, the 12th, or the 14th. Next, we have Stamp of the Month, and that runs all month long. So that you have to buy the stamp set with, and then you get the projects for free. Now, each of these projects is ×2, okay? So, a cute little box. Oh, the theme is the poinsettias. So, that's what we're gonna get. So, hopefully you're in the mood for that. So, we've got a gold box. We've got a really, really cute pinch bag, is what we're gonna call it. And this is tied up and done in the back instead, so I'll teach you how to do that. So this bag is 6 inches tall, so you can fit quite a bit in it. And then we've got a new design for a card. This is using the plush and the velvet. So this card lifts like that. We've got a brick wall layer there, kind of for Santa Claus, you know, okay? And then we've got the inside, okay? So that's another one. And then last but not least, this is called a contrast sunburst. The bag is so cute. Awesome. Thanks, hun. Oh, and this class is completely online with videos and everything else, and everything comes to your door. So this last one is called a contrast sunburst. I don't believe I put anything on the inside, but look how gorgeous that is. So that is the stamp of the month. Okay. Hey, Pen. How are you, hun? So, last but not least is the Advent. And Pen, you still have one of these sitting at my house. Anyways, is the Advent calendar one. This is November 21st from 10 to 1 or 4 to 7. We will be constructing this, eating, having a good time, and you're going to also get 2 bonuses with this. This class is $45, but you get the box and everything with it and take this home hopefully done. So quite a bit, right? All right, so for tonight we are doing more of the quite curvy celebrations. Yay. Okay, so for tonight we're using the gorgeous paper. We're using the bough to create pine bough to create a wreath. We are using the bow, and I'm going to teach you how, can you see that sparkle? You like stamp of the month? Well, I'm going to have to get a running total for you, huh, Serene? So I'm going to teach you how to color with the Wink Stella as your painter. I'm also going to teach you how to do a double fold banner. And that's all within the next, like, what, 10 minutes? Okay, so we should probably get moving, right? So, get a sip of water. And we will get to going. So, on my table, you need to have, if you're going to make this, not with me, but eventually, you're going to need shaded spruce and cherry cobbler, because those are the colors that match the paper. A whole bunch of blocks. Wink Stella, I'll go over the dimensions of the paper in a minute. You also need mini dimensionals, you also need glue dots, and you also need Stampin' Seal, or whatever you're gonna do. So, all right, Serene, so what I'm planning on doing is emailing you a list, a checklist tomorrow with the total for your order, and then once you tell me what's happening, then we will get it figured out, okay? Simple, easy, right? All right, so let's get started, shall we? So these are the 2 stamp sets that are available with the Curvy Celebrations. Quite curvy Christmas. There's also dies and there's also paper that matches. So take a look on the website. And if you need more details, just let me know. Not a problem. Okay. So we're mainly going to be using this stamp set tonight. Okay, so here we go, on to the races. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way, including the blocks. So I've got 2 pieces out of the Classic Christmas. You bought the set, you bought the dies, you bought the paper, and the other stamp set. Yes, Miss Holly. And you're going to have a bonus pack of paper, so you will have plenty to do tags. What I would recommend you to do is use up all the stuff that is absolutely Christmassy, because like this one, you could use for Valentine's Day, right? This is obviously more Christmas and not, unless you use this side, but for tags, you would still see the other side. Whereas this one you could do like for Valentine's Day. So definitely use up the definitely Christmas and then move on from there. Alrighty, so I have 2 pieces of complimentary designer series paper. I have 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, and then I have my thick white. You know what I don't have on my table, and that is okay, we can wait till later, but I don't have an envelope. So our piece of our card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. The valley side is going to go on the outside. Our mountains are going to get tucked in. Okay, So that is our card base. Now I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. I didn't trim much. These were out of my scrap pile, but I didn't trim much so that way you could see that I actually do this, right? So I did write down our layers here. If you want to zoom into this or screenshot this, but our first layer is at 5 1/4 by 4. Our second layer is at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then our third layer is at 4 1/4 by 3. So the 5 1/4, that's the green one. This is the red one. And the 4 1/4 is the white. You will also need a scrap piece of white, so that way you can do the banner as well. We are not scoring, we are cutting. So 5 1/4 by 4. Our trimmer has, so does everybody know the difference between a trimmer and a cutter? I'm just curious. Do you know? I had to look it up the other day because I was looking to possibly, if I keep expanding, I was looking at possibly getting a trimmer to do about, 500 to 1,000 sheets at a time. And I'm like, why am I not finding anything? Because a trimmer is detail and a cutter is big ol' hunker, what you can do, that kind of thing. So I learned very quickly that I need to call this a trimmer and not a paper cutter, because a paper cutter is what you use for heavy duty stuff. So that's like in the break room at the teacher's lounge, and that's when you do, 500 at a time and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we have all of these. Now I'm using my Stampin' Seal. I am going to tell you, I'm not going to do my white though. I am going to tell you, if you are frustrated with your Stampin' Seal because it boogers on you, you haven't got the hang of it, whatever the case, come talk to me. I'm not going to try to convince you, but what I am going to tell you to do is to try the Stampin' Seal Plus instead. I know several people that hated the seal and really, really enjoyed the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's perforated, it rolls differently, so just FYI for you, you might want that, right? All right, so I've got my piece of white. Are we ready to go? I hope so. And I'm gonna grab my other piece of white as well. Obviously, you know which one's the scratch, right? So I'm gonna turn it this way, so that way when I'm stamping my words, no big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my bow. So I've got my piece here. You could probably see it easier on the cover. So I've got my little piece here, and what I'm gonna do is I grab my block that needs to be cleaned. And photopolymer stamps, one of the beauties of these stamps is you can bend them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm going to bend it. That block needs to be cleaned. I've been stamping a lot. So when you bend it, you have to be careful not to go too far, not necessarily to crack it, but because it'll pop off, because there's too much going on. So here is what will be a wreath. Okay, so one of the gorgeous things about this is you can see exactly where it's going. Awesome, right? Now, if you want a crisper image, grab your piercing mat. I noticed I have a little bit of fuzzies. So grab your piercing mat. And yeah, I got more of an oval wreath because, that's how it works sometimes. But I'm just gonna give a little clean here, because I don't know if I need this block for something else. But quick and easy way to get a wreath, right? At least in my head. I don't know. take it or leave it. So I am grabbing my other block and I am grabbing the little trees. Holly, this one's for you, hun, because of your trees. Now, this is really hard to set on a block. So what I tend to do is toss it like that down there and then put my block over. Okay? So now I am running my trees through. If you're not comfortable trailing it through, put your ink onto your stamp instead. So we're just stamping this on the very bottom here. Yay! I don't know about you. I get excited. So tomorrow I have to brag a tiny bit because, you know, it's all fun, but it is work. And Stampin' Up! The on-stage, or the convention, as many of you know what it's called, known to be called, starts actually tomorrow night. Virtually, of course, but we're not talking about that. So, I got an email, I think it was last night, that said, hey, you've done great work. We are recognizing you for 3 categories. 3. And I was like, huh, I'm just doing what I do, right? Setting some goals and keep moving, right? Especially this year, who knows? So, they said, well, you've done a good job. So what happened was, I'm just stamping my bow real quick. This is in Cherry Cobbler. So, they are recognizing me for team building, for leadership, and for sales from last year. Yay! So, kind of cool, right? Gotta be worth something. Do a happy dance with me or do something. Yeah. Gotta celebrate when you can. Otherwise, life passes you by. And you can't let that happen. So, all right, so now I'm going to do May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. Because evidently we're in November, even though it's still 83 degrees outside. There's my May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. So even though we're 83 degrees still outside, I'm going to get Christmas rolling. Because otherwise we're going to be late. And it's just not going to happen, right? So, what else do we need? Oh, the berries. That's what we're missing. The little holly berries, or whatever you call those things. What do we call those things? Does anybody know? Anybody? Thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I love it, but it's a lot of work. So I'm just putting some berries in my wreath. If you don't have berries in your wreath, don't add it. But I have berries in my wreath. Okay. So there go my berries. If you clean as you go, like they say with cooking, then you won't have a whole sink of dishes at the end of it, right? So this piece is done. Okay. And you're like, no, we still have the bow and stuff. Yes, I'm aware of that. However, we're close to done. All right, so we're gonna get our magic scissors. We're gonna get our magic scissors, and I am just going to cut. And we are making our little banner here. Now, are there dies for this? There's border dies and stuff, but there's not dies that cut this exactly the way I want it. Gee, go figure, huh? So, that's when you grab your little scissors and you snip, snip, snip away and you do your fussy cut. No problem. Now, I want to show you, let me move some stuff, hold on. I want to show you one of the techniques I did. So to make a 3D banner, see how this banner kind of pops up? So to do that, we're going to bring back our trimmer and I am going to figure out where I want the first score. Score. Stay on the light side. Don't go to the dark side. Dark side is for cutting. Okay? So I'm going to score. Let's see if you can see this. I'm going to score maybe about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch off of the words. It's really up to you. But whatever you do, okay, see how the grids are here? So technically, this is, I think, 1/8 of an inch. But if you put the score line from the last one in the middle of the first grid, then you have 2 perfect score lines. And we're gonna grab here, and I'm going to put this in the middle. Let's see, what is the middle? Let's see, that's 1/4, yeah, it's about 1/8. Maybe a tiny bit more. So, when I'm all finished, I have 2 little score lines and 2 little score lines. Do you see that? So when I'm done, you know what? Did I dovetail this? No. Okay, so when you're done, fold down the first one, the one closest to your words you fold down, and then you fold the next one up. And that is your 3D. Do you see that? So you're gonna fold this one down and this one up. You don't want to get too much closer than 1/8 of an inch with our cardstock because it's too close and then it kind of mushes together. But there's your banner. So a couple tips for you though, because I don't like mine to pop like big time up. So what I do is I grab my mini glue dots and I kind of open this up a little and I stick one down in here on the second crease in the middle. So when it folds, I have a glue dot to kind of hold it there. And then when you glue this down on the back, it won't pucker and be all crazy, and you'll be fine. You're gonna have a little bit of glue dot probably showing in the back, and that's okay. That's what dimensionals and all that kind of stuff are for. But that is how you get your 3D. So again, you're gonna grab a glue dot, you're gonna kind of unfold what you just did, and on the score line, the furthest away, you're gonna put your glue dot in the middle of that score line, and then you're gonna fold it down, and then it's gonna look really wonky because it's going up like that, and you're gonna go on the back side here, and you're gonna tuck this in the fold as much as you possibly can, and then you're gonna squeeze that down, and that's how you get your 3D. Do you see how that works? And how the shadow is there? So you have your nice little fold and crease. Okay? Kind of a cool concept, right? So it's just another way to make things look different. And it doesn't add a lot as far as like when you're mailing it. So you'll be fine. So, alrighty, so let me glue this down so we can get this out of the way and I don't end up sticking it on an ink pad or something like that happening. And then I'm gonna grab mini dimensionals, hopefully. Did I finish them all? It looks like I did. Hold on a sec, let me grab. I thought I had some on my desk. I guess I don't. So, I'm grabbing my mini dimensionals, and the reason I use my minis is because I don't want my dimensionals sticking out. Now, if you don't have minis, cut your big ones in half. You just don't want them going right to the edge, okay? That's the ticket right there. So we're gonna peel these guys off. Toss those little things away. I don't know how many of those are in my vacuum cleaner. quite a few, we'll just say that. And looks like I need to still trim my ends. Make sure when you do this that you double check your width so you don't end up with things sticking out of your envelope, okay? So just trim a smidge off, or do it crooked, or do whatever you need to do, but I think we got it now. So that's my Merry and Bright. Nice voice, huh? All right, so this bow, right? You're going, how do you do that? So you're not gonna stick your Wink of Stella pen into your ink pad, because then you have glittery ink pad forever and ever and ever and ever, which is not good, by the way. So what you're going to do is you're gonna grab your block, you're gonna grab your cherry cobbler, you're gonna make a palette or your own ink pad, or however you wanna say that. I'm gonna close this up so I don't have a tendency to dip. Got ink on me. Gee, go figure. All right, so now I'm grabbing my clear Wink of Stella. Do not open your Wink of Stella over your project. Here's why. Every once in a blue moon, you will get a drip and it will be a mess. All right, so I am dripping my Wink of Stella onto my ink. You will know if it's coming down. There's a little tube, cartridge, I don't know, that it will drip down and you will see it. Maybe. Of course we're live, so it's not gonna do it. There we go, it's going. So I'm gonna just drip a little bit on there, and I'm gonna mix as if it were watercolor, right? And I'm gonna try here first, and I'm gonna say, is there enough red? Is it too much bling? Yeah, right. Anyways, and then I'm just going to float some color in here. I'll show you when I'm done. And as it dries, it will change. One thing to note, you will want to make sure, after you're done with this, you will want to make sure that you get all of that red out of your pen. Because if you don't, the next time you use your clear Wink of Stella, it will not be so clear. We'll just say it that way, okay? All right, so I'm gonna float some more red here, because that was very glittery only. Turn it around so you're not tempted to put your hand in it. If you need a silicone mat, so your glitter doesn't go through your mat, if you are trying to keep a table nice, then you will want to grab your silicone mat. If you do not have a silicone mat, you can always go to the dollar store and get one of their flexible cutting boards. It doesn't soak and do the same, but it's pretty darn close. And if you don't have any of that, grab a stack of paper towels and fold it over so it's about 2 or 3 thick, and you'll be just fine. It just won't last as long. So there is my bow. Get that out of the way. And you will want to wait until yours is completely dry. I didn't think of this, but it's okay. So there we go, dry, right? Yeah, right. So I'm gonna try to leave a tiny bit of white so I don't end up with smears all over the place. We'll see how good I do. So on this card, we've talked about the cute layers with the classic Christmas paper. Let's see, what else have we talked about? We've talked about how to make a 3D pennant. We've talked about how to make color palettes and how to paint with your Wink of Stella. Let's see, what else have we learned? How to make a bow, a wreath, even if it's a little bit ovally, it's okay. So let's see here. I am trying very hard to not touch this bow. Trying being the key word. But we'll see how this goes at the last. It's always the last little corner, right? So far so good. We will see what happens though, huh? So, okay. Last but not least, we're gonna snip this dovetail in here. Yeah, come on. There we go. I was trying to find the corner of it. Was not working. Okay, we're gonna put all that over the side. I'm like, I don't even know what I was thinking. And we're gonna grab the other card that doesn't have the bow on it already. We're gonna grab our mini dimensionals again. We're gonna flip that guy over. That's not our minis. Our minis are on the other side. We're gonna grab 2 of them for each side of that knot. We're gonna peel those off. And we're gonna see if I still have all my Wink Stella. We'll see. Hey, we did pretty good. And last but not least, and there we go. There's our card for tonight. If you want to clean your Wink Stella, you're just scribbling it off like the blender pen. I'm going to squeeze a tiny bit more just to make sure. And pretty good, huh? So that is how you make this card. So thanks so much. Follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com, if you want to do any of the classes, Stamp of the Month, card class, or the Christmas countdown or advent calendar. Please let me know. Holly, I have you down for 10 to 1 on the 21st. Cost is $45 per crafter for the countdown class, $15 for the card class, and I believe it's $45, don't quote me on that, for the poinsettia, the Stamp of the Month. So if you'd like to join any of those, there's events all over the place, and if you're confused, just give me a call. No problem. Oh, one last tip. Almost forgot. Wink Stella, once it dries, is not like our ink in the sense that it might be a tiny bit glittery still on your block. If you have trouble getting it off, get a magic, or after you rinse it, get a magic eraser. It'll come right off. No problem. So thought I should tell you that. So thanks so much again. Have a great evening and hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.